Alright, let's dive into this. Imagine a world where your elementary school teacher could predict whether you'd end up unemployed at 20. Sounds like sci-fi, right? But that's basically what the UK government is proposing. They want primary schools to flag kids at risk of becoming NEET, not in employment, education, or training, by age 16. And honestly, this raises so many questions it's hard to know where to start. Is this proactive support, or are we just labeling kids as failures before they've even hit puberty? Let's unpack this. /n/n First off, the data: over 1 million young Brits are NEET right now. That's 1 in 8 people in their late teens to early 20s. And the system's basically admitting defeat. Alan Milburn, who's leading this review, calls it an upstream failure, which is a fancy way of saying we're letting kids fall through the cracks for years before they even reach high school. But here's what fascinates me: the solution they're pushing is earlier intervention. Like, let's not wait until puberty to realize a kid's struggling. They want primary schools using attendance records, mental health indicators, even socioeconomic factors to spot red flags. In theory, this makes sense. But from my perspective, this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, early support could be life-changing. On the other, we're asking teachers to play psychic. /n/n Let's talk about the elephant in the room: poverty. The article mentions it's one of the key risk factors. But here's the thing: poverty isn't just about money. It's about access to resources, stable housing, healthcare, and yes, parental support. So when we say identify at-risk kids, we're really talking about identifying poor kids. And that's uncomfortable. Because then we have to ask, are we fixing systemic inequality, or just triaging its symptoms? Milburn's pushing for tutoring and mentoring funded by the pupil premium. But what happens when schools are already stretched thin? They are basically being handed a mandate without a magic wand. /n/n Then there's the absenteeism crisis. Post-pandemic, 1.3 million kids are persistently absent. Missing 10% of school? That's like skipping a month of classes a year. And get this, missing half your classes makes you 6x more likely to be NEET. But here's my take: punishing absenteeism isn't the answer. We need to understand why kids aren't showing up. Are they working part-time jobs to support their families? Dealing with mental health struggles? Or maybe the school environment itself is toxic. This isn't just a British problem, either. The US and EU are grappling with similar trends. But Ireland's success story offers a clue: their NEET rates have plummeted. How? They focused on vocational training and connecting education to local job markets. Which brings me to Labour's plan: retooling apprenticeships and technical education. Sounds great, but will it reach the kids who need it most? Or will it just become another bureaucratic checkbox? /n/n What I find most intriguing is the moral dilemma here. By identifying at-risk students early, we're helping them or dooming them to a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've taught kids labeled troubled by age 7. Once you're in that box, it's hard to climb out. And let's be honest, the UK's welfare system isn't exactly known for compassion. Milburn's warning that benefit cuts need to be paired with support is smart, but politically? Good luck. The bigger picture? This isn't just about education policy. It's about whether society values prevention over punishment. If we're serious about fixing this, we need to invest in childcare, mental health services, and yes, even parental leave. Because the day a kid starts school, the die is already half rolled. /n/n So here's my closing thought: is this plan a necessary evil, or are we medicalizing childhood? We're trying to fix a broken pipeline by sticking band-aids at the start, middle, and end. But maybe the real question isn't how to identify NEET kids, it's how to build a world where that label doesn't exist in the first place. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk.